Good times, great music at 2 and URFM 103.7. Yeah, it's quite often when we sit down and eat a nice piece of fruit in particular, you sometimes you have a look and think with a marvel at how they become and sort of how they look and certain colourings. And one of those that grabbed our Professor of Science, John O'Connor's imagination recently was the blueberry. Indeed, how blueberries are blue, what makes them that way. And good morning, John. I guess we could probably start by saying that the colour blue doesn't necessarily appear that often in nature, so that's probably what got your attention on this.
No, it's an interesting colour because it's one that really attracts the attention of birds chasing berries and so forth, and certainly blueberries and grapes, also plums, all have that sort of bluish colour to them, and of course it attracts those birds for a very good reason. And the question is, where does that colour come from? And not only did I get interested in this topic, but so did a group from Bristol University and the Dresden University of Technology, and they've been looking at it quite closely. And the thing with a blueberry, which I've checked out, is that if you rub the surface of a blueberry, what's underneath is black. So a blueberry on the skin itself is black. So what am I rubbing off? Well, what is on the outside of the blueberry, as with grapes and peaches, and plums, is a sort of waxy coating. And so they looked at this waxy coating under an electron microscope. Now, that's pretty serious stuff because it has incredible magnification. And so what they did was they found when you ramp it up to the point where you could see something which is about 1/100th the diameter of a hair. So it's getting really small.
Very minute at this point.
Submicron. And they found that the wax on the surface produces this really interesting structure. It's not just a nice smooth shine. I mean, the wax you put on furniture, you rub it until it shines. It's brilliant. This wax is different. It forms these little sticks, or if you look at it, what would it look like? It looked like a box full of kindling which you pile on the floor, chuck on the floor, sticks pointing in all directions, but nothing but really compact sticks. And that's what the wax does. It forms these really little sticks, about 1/100th the diameter of a hair, long, randomly oriented, and these particular sticks have a property that they preferentially scatter blue light.
That's amazing, isn't it? And again, to be able to, with modern technology and methods, to sort of be able to scale down that small, 1/100th of a hair. I mean, that's pretty tight.
It is, and the interesting thing is, it's actually evolved to do this, and the scattering process is very similar to why the sky is blue. I mean, that's also because the blue light is scattered by the atoms in the atmosphere, but this then becomes a scattering process. I'm saying scattering because it just sort of gets shot off in all directions, not like reflection. But anyway, so what this does is, this is an uncoloured material which sits over a black surface. The blue light gets scattered, the rest of it goes straight through, hits the black surface and gets absorbed. So all you see is the blue that's scattered from this outer layer. Now you might think, why on earth are these guys looking at this? Why are they so interested in what's on the surface? Well, what really prompted them was that they realised that there wasn't a blue colouring there. And one of the everyday applications of this is that if you could harness this process, you could produce a blue colouring that wouldn't stain material around it. So if this stuff got onto a piece of cloth, it would redistribute this fine wax. It wouldn't have the same dense structure, and so my blue mascara would not stain my shirt or something.
Again, real world applications.
Oh, look, an everyday application. I mean, there are many others, of course, but it was there was one that certainly came to their mind. But also gives us a better insight into how many plants have evolved to do this. And in fact, plants aren't the only thing, because some of the brilliant colours on butterflies and some birds is exactly the same process. It's not because they have a dye there, it's because of this really fine nanostructure, submicron structure.
Like you said, we could be seeing the end of stained clothes to a point.
Depends on what you wear.
That's true. All right, John, appreciate it. You have a great week.
Thanks, Mark.
Our Professor of Science from the University of Newcastle, John O'Connor, with us, having a look at blueberries and their blueness on 2 and URFM 103.7.
A broadcast service of the University of Newcastle.